What is up, YouTube? This is Hypergon, your Chop the Cat, back again for another video, specifically the newest segment of Throwdown Thursday. Now, this time I'm actually going to bring you guys a very different kind of Throwdown Thursday. It's not going to be me showing off any particular kind of deck, but rather it's going to be me going up against one of my subscribers, namely, at this point infamous on this channel, Diablade. The guy who has so far recommended 2 other editions of Throwdown Thursday, amongst a bunch of other things that I will eventually get to. However, in this case, he contacted me and said, hey, I wanted a duel. I'm like, alright, fine, I'll duel you. And so we had a couple of matches, or not matches, just duels, but they were really good duels, and I was like, I gotta save these and find a way to put them on here. And so I figured, why not make a sub-segment of Throwdown Thursday where I start showing battles against my subscribers. So, this is Throwdown Thursday, Subscriber Showdown. I know, I'm just great with these names, aren't I? So whimsical. But, point in case, this is going to be me and the couple of duels that I had against Zat, and they are, again, really good duels. And so, like I said, there's going to be a new subcategory. For those of you who want to face me, I'm actually going to be creating a Facebook page for this, because that would be the easiest way to get in contact with me, since I'm always on Facebook. I'll make that, I'll link it down in the description below. So if you do want to duel me, just check that out, and I'll be sure to feature the duels if they are, feature worthy, I guess. I don't want to show it just being like a one-sided butt whooping. I would like it to be a good duel. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started on this particular episode of Throwdown Thursday, Subscriber Showdown. Okay, so unfortunately when I was fighting him, this was before the most recent update here, so those duels that I did are actually gone. So instead, we actually just did a couple of other ones, and I'm going to show those off to you. Let's see now. Where was that first? Here we go. Most of the decks I'm using are kind of just some weird ones, honestly. This one is a water stall deck that focuses on bringing out, what's it called? Legendary Fisherman 3. Which, for those of you who don't know, let me just go ahead and show you that. Here he is, Legendary Fisherman 3. Cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned from your hand by tributing 1 the Legendary Fisherman, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. When this card is special summoned, you can banish all monsters your opponent controls, but this card cannot attack for the rest of the turn. It cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, and is unaffected by spell and trap cards. Once per turn, you can return all of your opponent's banished cards to the graveyard, and if you do, double the next battle or effect damage your opponent would take this turn. It's a hilariously broken card, however, it's really difficult to get out. Hence, why I decided to make a deck around it. Now this, as you guys may see on Zat's side, is his Excel scrap deck, which he had me highlight in one particular episode. This time it's actually been reworked a bit, so now it's capable of bringing out Red Nova Dragon, which is really interesting, actually. He does get it off a couple of times. But for the most part, it's nothing too bad. In this case, it was actually a really stally duel. It took a long time to finish this. Mostly because I had things like Level Limit Area B and Gravity Bind in the deck. But it was still an interesting duel. Just went ahead, used Snowman Eater, just get rid of that pesky Weasel so I wouldn't have to worry about it anymore. And at this point the plan was just stall out until I could finally take care of his monster. Or rather get out Legendary Fisherman 3. So I got Legendary Ocean, which is what I'm using in place of Yumi, just because it makes it a little bit easier. It reduces the level of all water monsters in both players' hands and on the field by 1, meaning I can just normal summon Legendary Fisherman for no tribute with it, which makes life a lot easier for me. Though, just in case, I do still have plenty of tribute fodder. But for now, it's pretty much just me trying to use Drill Barnacle along with Level Limit Area B and Gravity Bind to try and stall him out, which for the most part does work pretty decently. The only problem is that he has Scrap Twin Dragon, which means that he can just constantly bounce things. So it's kind of like a stally thing. Not much is really happening right now. he gets rid of Muzzard Grizzly, and I just go for Treeborn just so I can have that. The problem is that I'm very back row reliant in this, so I may have to find a substitute for Treeborn for all. Regardless, I just go ahead and reestablish myself. Now that I have 2 little limit area Bs, I know that I don't have too much to worry about because he can only bounce 2 at a time, and I still have Gravity Bind. Unfortunately for me, he does in fact draw Scrap Chimera, which does become a bit of a problem for me. Because here, he will actually go into a Scrap Dragon, so now he can get rid of 3 of my cards, in theory at least. The only problem is that he doesn't have too much in the ways of actually tributing for their effects, or destroying rather. So here I draw into a Salvin, and I'm like, awesome, that means I can actually get back Drill Barnacle and Snowman Eater, both of which are 2 hilariously good cards. So I just go ahead and set Snowman Eater just in case worse comes to worse, because he typically can get rid of things now. So, yeah, it's kind of like this for the majority of the duel. I draw into another Gravity Bind, which I find hilarious. Just go ahead and do Drill Barnacle stuff. I'm aware he's not going to let me keep that, but all the same, just the prospect of it is still kind of amusing to me. So he just keeps on doing his thing, gets Goblin. Don't know why he summoned the Kong. I guess just so he could do this, but it didn't make too big of a difference, honestly. Alright, so he goes into Phonon Pulse, chooses to make it level 1, so we can go for Stardust Warrior. Just, you know, fair point. Then he uses that to secure a Drill Barnacle, because, you know, he couldn't afford to keep that there. I draw into another Warrior of Atlantis. I just decide, alright, let me just discard this deck thinning. I need to get to my Fisherman. So I'm just doing all this. I figure I don't have too much to worry about, except he does still have Scrap Chimera, which is a slight problem for me. Because that means he can just keep on making these godforsaken Scrap Dragons. Didn't do too much with it this time, though, which was kind of fortunate for me. I draw into Aqua Spirit, which does not help me right now, because as you guys may notice, I don't have an extra deck. Something I will probably be working on in the near future. Actually, I probably should do that, because then I can go into things like the Volval Chain, and I won't be affected by my cards, and I can get him right on top of that. Dang, I should do that. I think I solved this next problem real quick. But anyway. So I just keep on... He keeps on doing his scrap stuff. He's actually almost got me in a really difficult predicament. So I draw into Legendary Fisherman. I'm like, hot damn, let me just go ahead and bring him out. At this point, I realize because I have a Yuumi out, am immune to the effects of my level limit area B, which was hilarious. For those of you guys who may not know, because realistically no one uses this, Legendary Fisherman states that while Yuumi is on the field, this card is unaffected by spell cards and cannot be targeted for attack. However, I can still be attacked directly if I have no other monsters. So that was just kind of like a fun little thing. Of course he's not going to let me keep it though, naturally. Why would he? So, yeah. Yeah, not much going on right now. I draw into Tornado Wall, which I find amazing, because that means I have some backup, just in case, you know, shit hits the fan, all that stuff. So, he keeps on doing his thing. Goes into his second Scrap Dragon, and this is where things become a bit of a problem for me. Well, you're about to see why. So I draw into another Legendary Ocean. I have all 3 of them at this point, but it doesn't really make a difference. So, uses that, search for Orthros, uses Orthros' effect, destroys himself with it, and then gets back Chimera. This is where things became a problem for me, because now he can just summon out Chimera, use it to get Orthros, and now he has all the fodder he needs for his 2 Scrap Dragons. And he can keep on doing it indefinitely, so long as he always remembers to destroy Chimera first. So, at this point, I'm actually in a lot of trouble. There's not much I can do at this point. I'm just stalling out, waiting until I can get both of my Fishermen. Then I know I can do something about it, except to start Stardust Warrior out, and that would be a special summon, so... I am still in a little bit of trouble here. The only hope I had for that was just that Legendary Fisherman 3 is immune to card effects, so I was kind of hoping I could have that going for me, but at this point I didn't think I was even going to be able to last. He's just blowing through all my resources while building up his own nicely. This is pretty much how the rest of the duel goes, unfortunately. So, yeah, I just set another Treeborn. I'm just desperate to try and keep my defenses up. but I know ultimately he is still going to kill me. Does that. Gets back Orthros again. Does his thing. It just kind of repeats like this, and I know it's inevitable, but there's nothing I can do. It's honestly kind of sad. I'm still not drawing these. I was thinking maybe I could go for Legendary Ocean Tornado Wall, but at this point I really just wanted to kind of clear out my back row so I knew that Treeborn would live, and I can just keep on bringing him back, but I don't know why I thought that. I honestly should not have done that. I should have kept, but he just would have blown him up inevitably, so. Yeah, oh well. And then he Raigeki, and that was pretty much game. Not the best run for it, but hey, this was literally the first duel I had with this deck, and I knew I really did want to try something out with Legendary Fisherman. I'll refine this deck a little bit more, and maybe I'll show it off some other time, but that's all I got on that one. Okay, so next, not that one. I gotta clear this out. I got too many things here. Okay, let's go with this one. This is actually the first duel that we had. I just chose the water one because that was the first one that caught my eye. This is actually a rather unique deck on my end. This is not mine. I am running a Psychic Gusto deck, aptly named Psycho in my instance. There is a reason for that. It's this character that I have who is a Psychic and has the abilities similar to Wind Control, who is called Psycho. And since this is a Wind Psychic deck, I decided, what the hell, why not just name it after him? Plus, Psychic, Gusto, Psycho, kind of made sense to me. Anywho, I'm starting off with Thunbolt, just in case he destroys it, so I can get a space-time cop-out and get rid of his Red Dragon Archfiend. Unfortunately for me, as I was preparing to do this, he chained Vanity's Emptiness, and yeah, you know how that goes. Completely prevented my summon, so really could not do anything about it. Now, I drew into this, but for some, like, I need to work on the extra deck balance in this, because if I had a Star Eater, I could have just taken that, gone with my Mental Seeker, I believe is his name. Yes, Mental Seeker, and just made a Star Eater. Unfortunately, I did not have a Star Eater in here, so I'm probably going to have to add him just in case of instances like this. I just really didn't think that through. I probably need to do a complete haul over of this extra deck. It's just kind of random. But I decided to go ahead and kind of set myself up, since I knew that with Serene Psychic Witch, I'd be able to get out wherever it was by my next standby phase. I decided to go for the Hushed Psychic Cleric, just because I knew I had the tuner I needed, so I just went for that. All I had was Psychic Nightmare, but we were actually talking during this, and he foolishly told me he had a Golem in his hand, so I knew what it was, so I was able to take care of that problem nicely. And I still have my Mind Control should I need it. So, he got Supply Squad, distributed for the Golem, did Golem stuff. Anyone who's played Scraps knows how this works. Went for Scrap Dragon, used Scrap Dragon's effect to get rid of my Nightmare. And brought me down to 100 life points now. Normally at this point people would just give up, say, alright, that's it, I got nothing left. But I am not most people. I refuse to give in that easily. So I went for E-Teleport, just got her just because, and I went into Fortune Tune, just so I could stall my little ass off. It's pretty much the entire purpose of it. So, he's just kind of trying to whittle me down. I'm not going to let him that easily. I drew into Miracle Synchro, which was amazing, except for the fact that he's too strong for me to handle. But that's not going to stop me. I'm just setting up my field, and then here I just decide, heck with it, Mind Control. Give me that. I know I can't use it, but I'm going to clear the way so I can do some heavy damage. I'm going to do everything in my power to survive this. I am determined to win. I knew I wasn't going to, because all he had to do was attack my Silent Psychic Wizard, and he won. But he attacked Fortune, like, he really wanted to heal this Fortune Tune. I don't know why he was so hell-bent on it, but he just did not want me to have Fortune Tune, which was silly on his end, because it actually gave me room for a potential comeback. So I go into Eagle, get Magical Android, uses effect, get back Mental Seeker. I could have gone into Thought Ruler, but that, again, would not have helped me much. So I instead decided to just set my Treacherous, end phase, and let Magical Android heal me up by 1800. Just because I had 3 Psychic monsters on the field, so every little bit helped at this point. I was actually winning by logic. So he tries to destroy Treacherous. I chain Treacherous, and I have to get rid of my own Mental Seeker, but it didn't bother me that much, honestly. I got rid of the Scrap Dragon. I figured whatever he was going to do in retaliation wouldn't be too bad, other than, you know, getting another one. But he decided to scrap Storm there instead, and just get, I forget what he did. Oh, right, he got Beast there. Searcher's going to bring himself out. He's going to get back Chimera. And then he's going to storm his Beast. Again, get back another Chimera. Weisel's going to come out, which is a bit of a problem for me because I have a Synchro Monster on the field. And now he has 2 Chimeras, one of which he can bring back because he had a normal summon at that point. Get Beast. Go for, you know, Juria Beast, which was, I have to admit, a good move. Did the obvious move of hitting me. I still lived, and for some reason he did not attack me. I don't know why. He could have ended me right there, but he didn't. So I just got back some life points. I knew at this point I had lost. It was almost a good comeback, but unfortunately it was not quite good enough. Yeah, I honestly had terrible luck with a lot of these decks. He just got so much more off than I did. But that's the way it goes sometimes. So he decided to be a bit of a show-off here and go for Shooting Star Dragon. And I was so hoping he did not pull a tuner. So hoping. But no, he got DD Sprite, and DD Sprite is a tuner, so he does get 1 attack. So basically, like, he never activated the effect. Destroys that, I get my stuff there. Just kind of because I wanted to. Beast is going to destroy that. I get my stuff, again, just kind of because I wanted to, and then he's going to finish me off with Shooting Star. He got really cocky in a lot of instances, but he never really lost because of it, so I guess I can't belittle him that. Okay, now moving on into the next duel that we had. I believe that would be this one up here, if I am correct. Find out. Yeah, this is the one. I'm on the wrong side though. Okay, so the last 2 that we had 5 duels, but I didn't save one of them because it was just me stalling my ass off. It was horribly one-sided. So the last 2 were actually against my best deck, my Dragunities. And so I just decided to just go ahead and set myself up, you know, send Harpist and Phalanx so I knew I could get Dunks back and I'd be fine. He just kind of set himself up decently. He had this Goblin here face down, which does play a bit of a thing. I drew into Debris Dragon, which I thought was amazing, because I could finally do something I've been wanting to for a long time. Bring out Phalanx, Tribute Phalanx to special Armor Mistletoe. Armor Mistletoe's going to get back Phalanx. I'm going to have Phalanx again. And then I go into Trident Dragon, which I don't get to do that often, but it was it helps validate Debris Dragon in the deck on top of just level 7 synchros. So it was, I wasn't sure if it was Goblin, but it turned out to be it. I just attacked it 3 times just because. For those of you who don't know about how Goblin works, when Goblin has to be attacked in face up defense position for it to die during the end battle phase. For people who just attack it, and when they see it, they just don't attack it anymore, that's foolish. You need to attack it, just get rid of it. So he goes for Weisel again. This Weisel kills me in so many of my decks because I'm such a synchro-heavy player. I just love synchro monsters. Unfortunately, that kills me in some instances like this. So I now have to deal with all this. I bottomless the hell out of that because I am not going to lose in 1 turn like that. At least I'm not planning on it, but, you know, things happen. So he just goes ahead and swings away, almost kills me. Again, does not attack with Chimera for some reason. I don't know why he doesn't attack me with these monsters. I don't get it. But at this point, I decided, alright, I need to get rid of this stuff ASAP. So what I decided to do is just go do my synchro ladder stuff, get Vajrayana. Vajrayana grabs Phalanx, nice special, and then I synchro again. basic synchro laddering, it's the one thing you're going to use your best at. I get Hot Red Dragon Archfiend just because I need to get rid of this thing. So he does all this, mainly just to get Goblin. So now I have 2 Goblins I need to get rid of. I know I can only get rid of 1. So I just go ahead and get rid of this one. I know it's going to activate its effect, but he can't do Scrap Factory anymore because that's already happened. So I have that going for me at least. Unfortunately, this is kind of where shit starts to hit the fan for me. That Summoner Monk he just drew pretty much won him the entire game. Just watch this bullshit. Does that, gets Beast. At this point I realized what he was doing. Went into Red Dragon, plus the tuners, Red Nova Dragon. I mean, just... what do you even do to that? I really had nothing, and he had exact game. It's okay, though, because in this last duel, I get back at him. I lost every duel because most of them were just testing out silly new decks. This is the one where I truly showed what I could do. This was my deck at doing what it does best. So, he does his stuff, just gets Orthros on the field. I don't have too much. I realize I have the Harpist. I'm like, alright, let me just ram into this thing so I can at least get my Duck Search. Unfortunately, he activated Scrap Storm, thinking that he was kind of being almost merciful to me. Unfortunately, that kind of ruined my plan a little bit. So then he managed to get out Search. It's like, damn, I still have Harpist on the field. I don't want Harpist. I want Ducks. So I just destroy the Searcher anyway, just to be done with it, because I really did not want to have to deal with that crap. So he does Chimera, does that, get Orthros. Orthros comes out, goes for Scrap Dragon. It kills that, and at this point, yes, now I do manage to get my Duck Search off, which is extremely helpful. Harpy Harpist, wonderful card. Truly what helps me make the deck, even more than Ravine sometimes, because at least with Harpist, I know I can consistently get it off. You can't MST Harpist to stop me. Alright, so I just do my thing, go for some Synchro Ladder crap. I'm actually pretty much just repeating what I did last time when I had this option, and just go for Hot Red, because he's a really good card. So I know I was going to have to deal with something. Had Orthros and Searcher. I'm like, alright, fine, I just get rid of the Orthros because it's a tuner monster, I don't need this. So I just attack that. He actually pulls out Scrap Iron Scarecrow, which I don't know if he got the idea from me or not, because when he sent me the deck, there was no Scrap Iron Scarecrow. There was in my version of it, but it's still a very underrated card. Scrap Iron Scarecrow is amazing. So I draw into Galaxy Cyclone, and I see some potential here. So first things first, clear out the back row. Second thing, clear out the monsters. Next, Phalanx. Set 2 for Trident Dragian. And I just clear that out and OTK the hell out of him. It was so satisfying after losing everything with my other experimental decks, and him using this one that's essentially the epitome of his... I'm not trying to belittle what that's done. I mean, these were some amazing duels. It was a lot of fun. Definitely enjoyable getting to test out some decks, as well as, you know, practicing with my better ones. But that's all I got for this week. I'm going to try and do another, like, sort of sub-segment with Throwdown Thursday next week. I'll show you guys what I got with that, and of course don't forget to also comment any decks that you would like to see me do for Throwdown Thursday, or any segment ideas that you may have. I do this channel for you guys, so if there's anything that you want to see, let me know. Of course, don't forget to also like and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, peace.